Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do another Scrapbooking 101.5 lesson. This is lesson 13, and we're going to talk about clusters and clustering. And I know recently Noreen Smith discussed this on the CM YouTube channel or Facebook page as well, and she had some wonderful ideas, some of which I will go ahead and remind you of as well. I also have a few tips that I have come across for myself through the years. So let's check out my workspace and we'll work through problem solving and putting together some clusters. Okay, thanks so much for joining me. Let's check it out. All right, here's my workspace for today. And I just wanted to talk to you briefly about creating embellishments for your pages. I know Noreen Smith, as I mentioned before, she just had a video up. I guess by the time this comes to you, it'll probably be a couple weeks back, all about clustering your embellishments and ideas and ways to do that. I just wanted to add to that conversation. All of her ideas are fantastic, of course, because it's Noreen Smith. Of course they're fantastic. No pressure, Noreen. But her ideas are wonderful, and there's a reason that she now works for our home office, and she does a fantastic job. But I just wanted to kind of give you some additional ideas of ways to think about embellishing. Years ago, when I was participating in a virtual event, another advisor suggested that it would be a really great idea to take some of these beautiful mats that we are given in our mat packs with these wonderful sayings on them and use those for embellishing. And the way they went about doing that is to use our custom cutting system and cut these mats so that they would cut a circle around these mats or an oval or whatever shape makes you happy, and then embellish from there. So one of the things Noreen said was to have a base and to build your embellishment from there. So I just want to show you kind of what I would recommend here with this. Now, several of these have kind of a roundness to them. Even when they don't have a roundness to them, you can sort of give them a roundness, or you can use this kind of as the base that Noreen was talking about. She also was saying that you should have a complementary color, or a complementary contrasting color is what she was saying. So you wouldn't want to use this if your base page or base paper is too much like this dark or this lighter color, but you could certainly mount this on another circle and frame it if you wanted to add emphasis to it, which is what I would probably recommend. So I would just take some cardstock and cut a circle that is one level larger than this, which is going to be using your small circle on the outside edge with your red blade, and then that will create a really nice frame around that. And then you would add just a couple of other embellishments. You could add another butterfly, pop that up with some foam squares, maybe offset it up here. You could add a flower coming off to the side, maybe two butterflies since we've got kind of a butterfly theme going. Just another butterfly in addition to this one would also work, because it would satisfy the having three elements: your words, your butterfly, and another butterfly. That would be three. Basically, you want to try to have an odd number of elements to a cluster. So if you don't have an element on your base like this, and this is a great start, but if you don't have that as an option, you can build your own. You can create a banner and use a banner as your base and then add your embellishments to that. You could add your words and add a decorative element to that, and then this becomes that base that Noreen was talking about. Or you could do a tag. And both of these are double layered just because I happen to have the cardstock handy, but you don't have to use a double layer. You could just use this one and use that as a base, or you could use both and then you just put words and maybe one other little element, depending on, again, what you prefer. I also have the circles and the squares up here. As bases, these work great, especially if you have a smaller little niche you're trying to just get something put into. These would be for something larger. Definitely this would be for something larger because it takes up so much more space. These stickers are from the new Birds and Blossoms collection, but I just wanted to talk to you real quick about some clusters and things that you might do. I usually, when I'm building a cluster, I start with my words, because the words for me are the most, or the more important thing. I find some words that have meaning for me, and then I build from there. So let's see, I think I pulled off this one. In the spring, at the end of the day, you should smell like dirt. Oh boy, anybody that has a garden knows that that is the truth. We should smell like dirt in the spring because we're planting and getting things ready for the growing season, right? Our home office team is really good about suggesting different things that you can put together for clusters, but I'm just going to give you a couple of other ideas here. I just thought that this would be kind of cool if we layered this in here, and I'm going to just pop that up with some foam squares, because the shadow gives such a nice effect and really helps it draw attention, especially for clusters. So you wouldn't want necessarily to do foam squares all over your page, but in your clusters, popping one or two elements up really helps. Okay, so I'm going to use this wreath and add my words to it, and then I want one other element, and I think the best thing we could use is one of these beautiful blue butterflies. And the butterflies also I'm going to pop up with foam squares because they are flying, right? So they need that lift. We need to see the lift that they have, and that will engage our spirit, right? So I'm just going to place that on here. Now the key to a successful cluster is helping all of your elements engage with each other. So you want to layer a portion of them on top of the other. You notice how I have the butterfly's wing is on top of the word sticker, but the body is on top of the wreath, and it creates one beautiful, nice unit, right? Okay, so I'm just going to stick that back on here so that I can use this when I do the project recipe for y'all for tomorrow. Okay, so there's that one. Another one that we could do is, let's see. Let's use Spring Has Sprung. So this one's a cute one with the tulips. Spring has sprung. And what could we put with Spring Has Sprung? To me, spring is all about life, right? And so I'm going to take this beautiful green sprig, and we're going to add that together, probably on the bottom, something like this. So let me go ahead, I'm going to pop up this. I'm going to add this in to the bottom here. Kind of like so. And then, let's see, what else did I wanted to add to this? Oh, I think I was going to go ahead and add a butterfly to this as well. So let's go ahead and this time we'll take one of the brown butterflies, which I gotta be honest, the brown butterflies kind of remind me of like a moth, but they are still pretty, and they are still a flutterby. That's what my kids used to call them anyway when they were growing up. They loved their flutterbys. And what I'm going to do is just sort of add this guy kind of off to the side right here. Okay, so I think it's a he. We're going to call it a he. He's going to be attached to the flowers as well as to the little bit of greenery back here. Okay, so that would be another cluster that we could put with our fun layout. Let's do one more, and then you'll be able to see these on my layout for tomorrow. So if hope had a scent, it would smell like spring and rain, something new and alive. I love that. So we can do the same thing. We can use this other sprig of green. We can use a butterfly. We could use some raindrops. We could use, probably not the sun because that has more words on it. I think it would be appropriate to use all of those things we mentioned, or you could even use some of these corners to add on. You don't have to use all 4 if you don't want to. You could just use 2 of them and put kind of catty corner like this stuck on there. I think that would be really cute, and that satisfies the 3 element rule also. So I think that would be perfect. All right, I'm just going to go with those, but if you haven't already seen it, when you see the Buy It All bundle on our website, there is if you scroll down just a little bit, there is a downloadable decorative idea sheet, which is what this is. And each time there is a Buy It All bundle, this has been created for you to give you ideas, so you don't have to come up with things on your own if you don't want to. And this is great because not only does it give you ideas for clustering your embellishments, but on page 2 it also gives you ideas for making borders with the laser borders that are part of the collection. So you can it incorporates your stickers with the laser borders that you're able to get because you bought ideally the entire collection. If you don't have the entire collection, that's okay. This still can give you some ideas for different ways that you can layer things that you can punch or that you can create on your own, right? So you can punch a row of flowers if you have a Border Maker cartridge that makes you happy and will work there. You can punch out or cut out some leaves and stick in there. So it just depends on how much time you want to or have to spend with putting this together. But these are great for giving you ideas to launch off on. Additionally, basically you want a focal element. So one main element, it's similar to floral arranging in this way of thinking, right? You want a focal element, which for me is usually the words. Then you want something to kind of elongate or give the cluster some movement, and you want an accent, right? So with most of these, you can see how they've added certain elements to balance things out. So we've got the birds of a feather flock together. We've got the nest. We've got both of the birds. Spring is in the air. We've got the birdhouse and a little bit of green because usually you find a birdhouse near or in some greenery. Showers, spring showers, you've got the extra cloud, you've got the raindrops. Spring with the wreath and the bird and the butterfly. Fresh blooms with the branch of sprigs, and then the daffodils. This same one that we used in the spring, at the end of the day you should smell like dirt, with both of the green sprigs and a butterfly. Hello Spring with the added orange flowers behind it. Those are two cute little stickers that just blend together really, really well. You've also got the wreath back here with springtime memories put on top of the wreath, which is unlike some of our stickers in the past. This wreath is actually a solid circle, so anything you put in the center can be lifted up higher than this and look really, really nice with the shadow underneath it. So anyway, I hope that's helpful to you. I hope you'll join us next week for another episode of Scrapbooking 101.5. And until then, I hope you have many more creative moments. Have a great day.